Hi, I'm Genie Logee here again. This time we'll tackle the subject of photographs. There's so much information and online help for identifying photographs that we could be here all year and not cover it all. Here's a brief history of photograph types recited by my old AI friend, Claude.
The oldest surviving photograph was created around 1826 to 1827 by French inventor Nicephore Niepce using a process he called heliography, meaning sun drawing. Louis Daguerre, who had partnered with Niepce, announced his daguerreotype process to the public in August 1839. Around the same time, William Henry Fox Talbot in England developed the calotype, which used paper negatives that could make multiple positive prints. In 1851, Frederick Scott Archer announced the wet plate collodion process, which combined the sharpness of daguerreotypes with the reproducibility of calotypes. In 1871, Dr. Richard Leach Maddox introduced gelatin dry plates that could be prepared in advance and stored. In 1888, Eastman introduced the Kodak camera, a small box camera loaded with roll film that held 100 exposures. In February 1900, Kodak launched the Brownie camera for just $1, specifically marketed to children. It was easy to use, could be loaded in daylight, and made photography accessible to the average person. In 1935, Kodak introduced Kodachrome, a color reversal film that remained popular for 74 years and was used for many famous photographs.
So that takes us only up to 1935, and there's lots more after that, but you get the picture. So, when regular people could afford to have a portrait taken, or better yet, have a camera of their own, photographs were like magic, a way to preserve their memories of loved ones, or to show how brave they were by climbing to the top of a rock formation. I see you, Lloyd. But now what? We have boxes of these treasures, and someday we'll sit down and go through them all. Yeah, sure we will. It's overwhelming. There are so many things to consider when sorting them out and figuring out all the unlabeled photos. So, what do I know? I'll tell you. Let's use the old technique: who, what, why, where, when, and how. Who is in the photo? Relatives, friends, strangers. Somebody important in society? What kind is it? Very old little metal sheet with faces on it? Black and white heavy paper? Black and white little snapshot? Polaroid? Faded color print? Is it an actual photo print or somebody's paper copy of an old photo that they scanned and printed themselves? Why was it taken? Was there a special event like a marriage? New baby? Is it a death picture with the deceased in a coffin? Yes, they actually did that. Where was it taken? Which country? Whose house? When was it taken? 1800s? 1900s? 2000s? How was it taken? Professional portrait photographer? Is there a company name on the photo that would give you a clue? Or did Uncle whoever use his Brownie star flash on some afternoon?
Brownie? Starfish? What's that?
Star flash. Never mind, Bob. It was way before your time. So those are the questions. Now for the answers. Factina, this is your department.
Hi, Genie. There are facial recognition apps, software that will recognize a face in a picture. Google Photos and Apple Photos have the ability to help you identify the same person in different photos and different years. But be careful, this is not an exact science yet. Backgrounds. What's in back of the people, like buildings or type of vegetation? Is it a painted background on a stand? Or is that a real tree in the yard? In the early 1900s, photographers would go around town with their photo equipment and a painted background on a stand and set it all up for family portraits. Costumes. If the clothing looks old-fashioned or like what these days we would call a costume, sometimes you can find the actual village your ancestors came from just by the style of their clothing and the designs and patterns on them. Once you have analyzed the photos yourself and found more clues than you hadn't realized were there, you can go online to continue your research. Here are some websites that will help you identify people and places. You can find links to these websites on our website at www.geniewhatdoiknow.com. Digital Public Library of America Family Research Guide, the Wayback Machine at Internet Archive, and search for images of anything you're looking for like clothing, locations, and time periods.
The Wayback Machine? How far back does it go?
Not that far.
Here are a couple more. Billion Graves, Women's Fashion. And an amazing website you can get lost in forever, Cindy's List. She has an extensive list of sources regarding photographs. Cindy's List, Lost and Found, photos and photo albums. Once again, you can find links to all these websites at www.geniewhatdoiknow.com.
And I've got one more suggestion. Here's an example of how to identify your family in a picture, if you are lucky enough to have found them in a census report or ship manifest from when they came to this country. If you know there were 8 kids in the family but don't know which name goes with which face in a picture, you can refer to the census or immigration record. If you can, find the youngest and oldest of the group. You'll have their names based on the other records you have. Then you have to figure out the other 6, and it's not always easy. Another source to fill in the blanks would be your older relatives who might remember family stories, or cousins or other relatives who might know their own direct ancestor, but not yours.
So, I think what you're saying, Memes, is that it's better to narrow down the list instead of trying to get them all right from the beginning. But what happens when you get down to only one kid left, and you're sure it's Uncle Benjamin, and you realize it's actually a little girl in the photo who's only about 2, and Benjamin would have been 10 that year? So you head for the cookies, take a walk, and let your mind wander with what ifs. Maybe Benjamin was not home that day for the photo, and the little sister died at age 3 and nobody ever talked about her. Or maybe 100 other possibilities. Nothing is certain. You need to, I know I'm a broken record, consult multiple sources. We'll stop here since, like I said before, we could easily be here all year trying to cover it all. Coming up in episode 5, something spooky. No, it's not Halloween yet, but it will be Friday the 13th. It's a good time to talk about superstitions and misconceptions. And to end this episode, let's ask Story Lady if there are any mysteries to solve today.
Yes, indeed. Who is Louis Nicole? Is she one of the mystery people in an old faded snapshot? Is she a circus clown? Is she a suspicious character hiding in Bermuda shorts? No, Louis Nicole is Genie's alter ego, a real person who goes by her pen name, Louis Nicole. She actually creates this whole boogaloo. She writes the dialogue for each episode and does the video editing. A genealogical researcher herself, she chomps at the bit to share all the research she has done and all the information she has collected. She will appear from time to time, but prefers to stay in the background and let Genie and her friends take over. After all, what does Genie know? I bet she knows a lot. Bye-bye for now. I'm boogling off to Bermuda. Maybe I'll skip the shorts.